It's still setting up. Wow, this is actually really slow. Hi guys, so I think we can start the event. Please let me know if there's any feedback. I'm just trying to make an edit to the video on YouTube, but we are live now, so let's get our attendees in. Okay, great. We're live on YouTube. Emmanuel, let's broadcast, please. Emmanuel, you are the host now, so let's begin.
Babs or me?
Whoever is Emmanuel, please. Hi, I think we're getting people, are we not? I'm no longer the host, so let's let the attendees in. Great.
We're live now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the Binance 3-Day Trading Masterclass. My name is Damio Dufour. I'm the PR for Binance in Africa. We're just going to wait for a few more attendees, and then we're going to start. We're streaming live on YouTube as well, and we're going to share the YouTube link here in the chat function for you all to see. And you can share that with your friends who weren't able to join us today. Please remember that this is a 3-day event. And so, as you know, for you to receive the certificate of participation, you have to attend all 3 days. So just give us a few more minutes. We're going to let more people join in, and then we will proceed.
I cannot leave you alone, God forbid.
Hi, Bash. Please mute yourself. Thank you. Great. Hi, everyone. Welcome again to the Binance 3-Day Crypto Trading Online Masterclass. My name is Damio Dufour, and I am your host today. So let's get straight into the program, and let's go through some house rules. Okay, so the first rule is, I love seeing all your chats, all your messages in the chat function. Great to have you all here. If you have any questions for the Binance team, we have our angels and ambassadors here with us, as well as some members of the Binance team. If you have any questions for us, please type them in the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen, not the chat function. And if you have any questions for our speakers today, please also add them to the Q&A function. What we're going to do is have the panelists speak for 35 to 40 minutes and then answer your questions after. And as you all know, there'll be a giveaway today for those who answer some of the questions we have from each of our speakers. I think today we are giving about, how much are we giving, Emmanuel? About $100, I think, away. So get ready. Okay, so I just want to do some quick introductions of our speakers. So the first speaker today is James Preston, who is the executive editor at Global Crypto. Global Crypto is also our media partner. So thank you to Global Crypto, Lightblocks News, and BitcoinKE for being our media partners. We're going to be sharing links to their platforms in the chat function. My colleague Emmanuel will be doing that today. I think David, okay, great. I think James, you have your video on. If you could unmute yourself and then we can begin. So actually, one quick thing that I need to add is the topics that we're going to be going through over the next 3 days. So today we're going to have an immersive intro to crypto. And then day 2 will be more about, setting up your account, buying and selling P2P. Binance has Binance P2P. And that will be run by members of the Binance team. Day 3 will be by Tola, as you all know, I'm sure all of you know Tola, and will be around, technical analysis, market psychology. So let me quickly introduce our speakers. The first speaker for today is James Preston, as I said, the Global Crypto Executive Editor. And he will be talking to you essentially about the origins of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. Our second speaker is Roselyne Wanjiru, and she'll be talking to you mainly about how crypto has been used around the world. Okay, great. Hi, James. Good to have you here with us.
Hey, Dami and everyone. Thank you so much. It's good to be here.
Great. So take it away. We're really excited for your session on financial ruin and Bitcoin.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me just make sure that my timer's on and we are all good to go. Hi, everyone. I'm James and I run Global Crypto. We are a news outlet that was started to help self-regulate the industry. Before we have political regulation, we have self-regulation, which comes in the form of journalism and reporting. How many of you know that in your governments, there is a very important standard that your journalists in your countries will hold to account. And so journalism is a really important factor in self-regulating any industry and any political movement. And so we saw that there was obviously no regulation. And so we stepped in and said, well, we need to self-regulate. And that means digging into the stories, finding out what is truth, finding out what's legitimate and what's not. So that's what Global Crypto does, and that's what we're all about. So we have a website. It's really simple, globalcrypto.tv. You can check it out and subscribe to our newsletter. We send out once a week just the basic happenings of what's happening in crypto. We also have a Twitter page. All our links are there, and our YouTube and podcast as well. Every couple of months, we do a influencers series where we interview some of the biggest names in crypto. So our recent series, we had the likes of Arthur Hayes from BitMEX, we had Andreas Antonopoulos, we had Meltem Demirors, we had Stacey Herbert from the Kaiser Report, and coming up, we hope to have Max Kaiser from the Kaiser Report. We hope to have Changpeng Zhao, of course, CZ of Binance. We've got Tim Draper lined up. So it's really going to be a great season. So make sure that you subscribe to us, globalcrypto.tv. So what I want to talk to you today is about the rising phoenix of salvation. Obviously, most of you should remember from school that a phoenix is a Greek mythological creature that when it died, it would burn up, consume everything around it, and then from the ashes would come a new phoenix, a stronger phoenix, right? And that mythological creature is representative of what I believe we're seeing in the world today, which is a burning up of the financial system. Over the last 100 years, we have seen drastic change in the financial system. And I think we're beginning to see that system start to fray. And so there's going to be something arising from the burning up of this system. And I believe that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, crypto assets are going to be part of this new rising phoenix, which I've called salvation because it literally could save and protect so many people's wealth. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. Financial ruin, I know it sounds a little bit melancholic, it sounds a little bit depressing, but the reality is, as we've seen with the COVID-19 pandemic, things aren't going to be easy financially, and so we need to prepare ourselves. So let's just get through everything. So firstly, I'm just going to share it point by point and take you through each point. Firstly, let's all appreciate the one thing we all want, and that's a content life, right? Every single one of us watching this right now wants a content life. You want a life that you can have good food, you can have shelter, you can have love from people that you care about, you can express yourself. You want to feel that all those things are protected, so they're not going to be taken away from you, and that they're going to be there tomorrow. So all of those things that you have, your food, your shelter, your love, the ability to express yourself, you want those things to be there tomorrow and the next day, right? That's at the end of the day, that's all we need, right? That we know that is known in psychology as Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If we don't get those things, we go into a primal mode. It's just survival. It's a fight for survival. We're scratching around and doing the best we can. But at the end of the day, every single one of us wants those basic things. And that's the world that we're striving for. And that was the world that Satoshi Nakamoto envisioned when he invented Bitcoin and released it to the world. He said, the current financial system is so broken that it's stripped the world of true equality, of true opportunity, and we're just getting a concentration of wealth at the very top. And so he saw a vision of a decentralized financial system which gave power back to the people. And so we're going to go through what that vision was. So to achieve that contentment that I spoke about in today's system, and you all understand this, we need to create value, right? That means going to go get a job or starting a business. That's commonly understood as capitalism. That's what capitalism is. It's going out, creating value either for someone else or for yourself. You create value for the world, and in return, you get value to spend, right? To exchange that value. So we're all doing these things simply so that we can attain this content life, okay? But here's something important to consider. That's not going to work when capitalism fails, right? And I've got all these flags here at the bottom, starting with Germany. That was the German flag before World War II, before Hitler took over. Germany collapsed, its financial system collapsed after what it had gone through in World War I, after generating an immense amount of debt, and they thought that they could literally manufacture and inject debt into their monetary system, and their currency collapsed. And we've seen the pictures, I'm sure you've seen the pictures, and then I was going to say not long after that, but it was a good 70 years after that, when the Zimbabwean dollar collapsed, right? And now Zimbabwe is currently operating off the US dollar because its currency is completely worthless. Same thing, its economy collapsed, and the government had to quickly try and manufacture debt, inject it into the system, and what they did was they diluted the value of their currency. We then saw it with Greece. Greece was in many ways worse. What the Greeks did was, instead of injecting an overabundance of debt into their system, they actually took your money away. They took the money of their citizens away. They took a straight depending on what level you were, up to 25% off what was ever in your bank account. So if you had $100,000 in your bank account, after a certain date, you had $75,000. Just like that. That's the power that the Greeks had. And despite the debt that they had fallen into, they tried to get out of it by literally just taking the money from their citizens. And then after that, they still couldn't pay the debt back, repay the debt, and their economy underwent extreme strain, and we saw what happened. The next flag there is Venezuela. Venezuela has experienced that in an unbelievable scale due to corruption and due to a nationalized central bank. What they're seeing is they are seeing an injection of debt into their system, an injection of liquidity into their financial system, and the same thing, their currency has been debased and diluted, where people are now rather trading in barter, they're trading in Bitcoin, they're trading in US dollars. The same thing with Argentina, immense foreign exchange control. Lebanon right now is going through a massive financial crisis, and obviously that's not helped with the horrific explosion that they experienced as well. And our hearts go out. If there are anyone watching in Lebanon right now, our hearts go out to you, because that is a very serious situation, what the Lebanese are facing. And then Turkey right now is experiencing the same thing. It comes to nationalization of the central bank, and too much control in one place causes value to be diluted. And that is so important to understand. And so if you're working for a token, right? So I live in South Africa. If I'm working for the South African Rand, right, I'm doing all this work and getting South African Rands in return so I can go and spend it. But if that South African Rand is losing its value, then my work is no longer worth what I'm getting in return. And so the capitalist system actually breaks when there is a central control overseeing the economy that you are operating in, all right? So we're faced with two choices. If the capitalist system is broken because there's too much central control, the two choices we have are, number one, build an entirely new system, which I think is coming in the next century. We're going to see an entirely new global system. We've seen people talk about UBI, universal basic income, all those kind of things. I think it hasn't even been dreamed up yet. I believe there are entirely new economic and socio-political systems which are going to be created in the next century or two. But that's another talk for another day. That's option one. Option two is we can protect ourselves from the failure of that system. So if you were in Germany and you were buying US dollars or British pounds in 1935, you would have been protected from the Deutschmark's collapse. You would have been protected from the Zimbabwean dollar collapse if you were buying US dollars before the inflation, the hyperinflation. And so the list goes on. Now, we need to have the foresight to see what is coming to protect ourselves from the coming hyperinflation of our fiat currencies. Most of you guys should know this. You're in crypto because you understand that. Fiat is a Latin word that simply means I owe you. So the coins in my pocket, which I actually don't have any, I should really organize coins in my pocket so that I can use it in my examples. But the coins, the notes that you have are simply fiat currencies. It means that I will pay the bearer of this amount of value. So in order to protect ourselves, we need to foresee the hyperinflation and the dilution of our fiat currencies. So how do you do that? So let's focus on that second option. We're not going to talk about a new system right now or anything that is too big vision. We're going to try and look at how can we protect ourselves now. So here's how you can protect yourself from the system's failure. Diversify. It's that simple. Diversify. Humans, what separates humans from the rest of the animal kingdom is that we diversify our savings. Now, yes, we are one of the most advanced savers in the animal kingdom, right? But you still get savers. You get squirrels who will plant nuts for the winter. You will get all kinds of animals will plant all kinds of resources for the winter, for the next season, and that is saving in essence. But we are the only ones who go beyond just a year or two, and we're the only ones who diversify. We go beyond just a bit of seed. We go into all kinds of diversified savings. So what are the areas that you can diversify into? Well, it could be a stronger fiat, right? So if you're in South Africa, maybe buy US dollars.
Hi, James. I'm so
yes.
sorry to cut in. The screen isn't really clear, so people can't see it. The text on your little screen, we can't really read the text. Is it possible to adjust it a little? It's a bit blurry. Maybe use your main camera.
Absolutely, no problem. If I bring it closer, how's that?
It's a little bit stronger. Well, I guess we'll have to manage it that way. Or you can. Why don't you share the screen? Yes, just share the screen. Thank you so much.
No problem. Let's share the screen. Cool. That means I can sit down. Right. Let's share the screen with you guys. Okay. Make sure I share the right one, right? Let's have a look here. Okay. And there we go.
Perfect. So, thank you.
No problem at all. So you could diversify into stronger fiats like the US dollar, the Chinese yuan, or others, right? And this is what one area where I absolutely love about crypto. We are now able to buy US dollars, technically US dollar value, by buying US dollar tether. You don't even have to buy actual US dollars. You can convert your value into the same value as US dollars because it's tethered to the US dollar. Think about that. So if you believe that your currency is going to get weaker to the US dollar, just buy US dollar tether. Granted, there is all the questions, and many of you may have questions about whether US dollar tether itself is going to sustain itself, but that's a question for another day. The other way is to buy stocks, right? Stocks in your local stock market, stocks in the American stock markets, international stock markets. But something that's interesting is, of course, those stocks are denominated in fiat. So when we see the stock market going up, is the stock market actually going up? Are the value of the stocks going up? Or is the fiat currency actually just getting weaker? Something to think about. Then we could buy gold and silver, which has stood the test of time, other commodities that people need like wheat, maize, other minerals and metals. And then the new one, which is the financial revolution, crypto assets, cryptographically secured digital assets. That is one of the strongest ways to diversify your portfolio of investments for the future. So why do we need to diversify? Well, the impending failure of the current financial system has been seen time and time again, and it comes down, as I've mentioned already, to central controlling governments debasing our currencies. We've seen it over and over again, and one of the biggest examples is that picture there. You can see a denarius coin. The Romans were the first ones, and this is where we even get the word debase from. The Romans debased their currency, the denarius, and by doing so, the coin became less valuable. So they would replace the silver in their coin with nickel. And so even though it was the same size, it looked the same, it didn't have the same value. And eventually people cottoned on to this, and they realized that one denarius wasn't worth the same amount of silver. And so the people in Rome were literally getting robbed of their value. They were still getting paid 100 denarius a month. Meanwhile, their 100 denarius weren't worth the same amount of silver as it was a year ago. That is raw debasement. And that's what we're seeing today. Today, we call it quantitative easing, or QE. And what's happening is governments are quantitatively manufacturing debt and buying stocks. And they are causing those stocks to look valuable, but actually, as I said, the fiat is less valuable. The value of gold, silver, commodities, crypto, however, is not determined by centralized powers, the likes of a central bank, the likes of the Roman government. So the denarius debasement was a decision by the Roman government. The people had no choice over whether the Roman emperor was going to debase their currency. Gold, silver, commodities, on the other hand, entirely decided by the market. That's the essence of capitalism. The market determines value. And that's where it all started. You can see that little cartoon there. One of our ancestors wishes he had a rock. The other one wishes he had a stick. And they decided, well, is this rock worth that stick? And the market then determined the value. So you see, crypto is digital and decentralized. So it's digital, in other words, it's based on mathematics. It's scientifically based. It is not just some idea that someone came up with. Cryptography is a mathematical equation. And so crypto assets are entirely based on math, and therefore you can trust them a whole lot better than just a random website you found on the internet. And they're decentralized. So again, there is no single decision maker making the decision about the value of the tokens that you hold, depending, of course, on the type of token. All right. So we've seen democracy overthrow monarchies and ancient emperors. Now, I sincerely believe we are seeing decentralization overthrow and decentralized power. What's happening is, as with the original idea of democracy in ancient Greece, power is going back to the people. That's really what we want to see in our financial system. The people with the power and not centralized government-controlled agencies. So let's just have a look at the mechanics of decentralization. So if we interpret it through the traditional financial system right now, if you want to go and swipe your card at a bank, right? When you swipe the card, the accounting process gets processed through a centralized server, right? And you can see one person inside a centralized server room has control over what's going on inside that server, inside the ledgers, inside the accounting databases of your accounts, right? And so if there's one single database that has access over your value, how can you trust it? You are putting your trust in the single centralized database and one entity. Whereas decentralization, such as a blockchain, puts the power back to the people. So at the moment, Bitcoin has over 10,000 nodes. What is a node? And this is a difficult one because a lot of you may understand this, but some of you may have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. So those computers there, they represent an entire Bitcoin database, right? And every single computer has the exact same database on it. The accounting ledger of Bitcoin being paid to and from people is on every single node. And we actually run a node here from my office here in South Africa. We're running one of the Bitcoin nodes. And that means every single transaction that has ever taken place in the Bitcoin ecosystem is being stored on a server here in this office, right here in South Africa, along with 10,000 other computers around the world. And what happens is, if somebody wants to adjust the code, improve a bug, they need to submit it to all the other nodes, and they decide if that code needs to be updated. And that's really important to understand because it's now true democracy and it's true decentralization. And so many of you would understand that there is a limited supply of Bitcoin. There's only 21 million. In the same way, there's a limited supply of gold. There's only a certain amount of gold in the Earth's crust. There's only 21 million Bitcoin, and no one can try and manufacture more Bitcoin without getting all the other 10,000 nodes to agree. And if half of the nodes wanted to say, no, we actually want to do something else, that would be what's called a fork. And that's why we have other cryptocurrencies today like Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV. And what's happened is the democratic process has proven that, in all due respect, Bitcoin Cash is not as worth, those ideas of Bitcoin Cash aren't worth the same as the ideas of Bitcoin. Bitcoin SV not as worth as the same ideas as Bitcoin. And so today, Bitcoin stands the test of time as a truly decentralized financial database. Now, as I've just mentioned, if there's a limited supply of commodities and nothing else has value, where is the value going to go? So if fiat currencies are losing their value, well, what's going to happen is that which has proven itself is going to inherit the value. Gold will hold its value. Silver will hold its value. Bitcoin, now around for 11 years, has proven itself to be valuable and is going to continue to inherit the value that is being debased by centralized governments. You see, those of you listening to this and tuning into this masterclass, you are currently sitting at the precipice of one of the most significant shifts of value in history. And I want to, you'll see there that I've used the term value instead of wealth. Because a lot of people say that, they say we are at the biggest transformation and the biggest transfer of wealth in history. Well, let me let you guys in on a little secret. Unfortunately, there are a lot of wealthy people who recognize that Bitcoin is going to be valuable in the future. And therefore, they're still going to be wealthy if the financial systems of today get debased and get diluted, like the Roman Empire, like the Dutch Empire, etc. And so these people, these wealthy people, are accumulating the likes of Bitcoin, silver, and gold, and they've diversified well. And so there's still going to be a lot of wealthy people who are going to maintain that wealth. So it's not necessarily a transfer of wealth, it's a transfer of value. And that's important for us to understand, because I think a lot of us, and I'm just like every single one of you watching this, I'm not some wealthy dude. A lot of people say, wow, James, you got into Bitcoin in 2014. You must be really wealthy. Well, yeah, I bought my first Bitcoin when it was $270, right? Now, I've had to sell that Bitcoin as I go along because I'm an entrepreneur and I need to sell it as it goes up in value. I sell the Bitcoin in order to support myself. And so I'm not sitting around with hundreds of Bitcoin, unfortunately. I'm sitting around with just a little bit here and there to try and get by. But I think that's important for every single one of you to understand. You need to know that it doesn't matter how much Bitcoin you have right now, you can at least start to accumulate value. It's not about trying to be rich here. It's about trying to accumulate value. And we are truly sitting at the precipice of a significant shift in value in all of history, certainly in modern history. And then finally, and we're going to get into some important points for every single one of you watching this, especially as you embark on a trading masterclass today, you want to protect the value you create in the early days of this value shift. So we're still in the early days, right? When tech stocks took off in the mid-90s, we're only seeing those mature now, 2020. That's 25 years later, right? And we're only 11 years into this Bitcoin experiment. So you are still very early, but you want to protect that value. In other words, you want to protect your portfolio. So let's go through a couple of points. How do you protect your portfolio? And this is important to understand as you prepare yourself to become a masterclass investor with this Binance Masterclass. So firstly, investing, as with everything in life, requires focus, energy, and sacrifice. And you'll notice I've said investing and not trading. There's a very big difference there, because trading, who wants to be a trader? You're a guy on the street saying, think about it. Think about what a trader is. A trader is someone who is just, hey, I've got a pair of shoes. Want to buy a pair of shoes for $10? Or an investor says, I'm going to take these pair of shoes. I'm going to put them away until more people want the pair of shoes. An investor is an entirely different mindset. And I want you to take on the mindset of an investor. Don't take on the mindset of a trader. A trader is just here for the short term, your fly by night. An investor is here for the long term. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm in this crypto asset space. I'm here for the long term. Now, on that first point, please know that nothing comes for free. Okay, I really want you to understand that. A lot of people think, well, you know, I can just flip a coin. I can flip Link. Link was $10 last week. It's $20 this week, and I'm going to cook. you know, I've flipped it and now I've doubled my money. You need to understand that you're going to need focus if you're going to become a good investor. It's going to need energy. Why? Because you may stay up late at night to read and to study the various principles of investing, and it will take sacrifice, because nobody wants to stay up until 2 in the morning learning. Nobody wants to set their alarm for 4 a.m. when the Chinese markets open and you're there ready to get in on the action the moment those Chinese markets open. It takes sacrifice. And that's really important no matter who you are or where you're from. Nothing comes for free. If you think, wow, you know, look at the famous people, they got it easy. Well, do you know what it's like to live a life of fame? That is a cost. Everything comes with a cost, and that's important for you to understand. And which leads me on to the second point: remain humble. Pride will kill your portfolio. If you think you flipped Link and got it from $10 to $20 and doubled your money, guess what you're going to do the next time you see a good trade? You're going to put all your money into that trade, and it's going to go the wrong way, and you will get burnt. So you need to remain humble. Okay, I doubled my money on that trade. That doesn't mean I'm going to put all my money into the next trade. You've really got to make sure that you remain humble. Then educate yourself. So understand your tools. We all have tools as investors. Some of us like TradingView. Some of us like to do it on Binance. Some of us like to use some of the more traditional charting tools available. Know your tools, understand your tools, educate yourself, because investing is like a craft. And if you don't know your tools, then how are you going to create value? Next, set investment parameters, and this will all be covered in the rest of the Binance Masterclass over the next 3 days. Stick to your investment parameters. It's really important. If you do not stick to your parameters, you will burn your portfolio. So once you understand the rules of investing, stick to them. So one rule, for instance, I'll give you a golden rule: never risk more than 10% of your investment portfolio on a single trade. Most people, most investors don't risk more than 5% on a single investment. Never go more than 10%. Because you say, okay, well, look, Bitcoin's about to go through the roof. I'm going to put 80% of my portfolio into that trade, and here we go. Guess what? It goes the other way. 80% of your investment portfolio gets affected the wrong way. So that is imperative. You stick to your investment rules, to your investment parameters. Which leads me to the final point here of protecting your portfolio. A winning investor is one with a plan, and then sticking to it. So make sure you have a plan. Lay out your plan. This time around, before I start this year, I'm going to make sure that I only invest in this kind of market, or I'm only going to invest when I see this happening. I will only invest X amount. I will set a stop loss of X amount. I will set a take profit of X%. Make sure that you have a plan, because trust me, a really, really good investor is never going to beat a bad investor who sticks to his plan. If you're a good investor but has no plan, you will come off second best. A plan is far more important than natural intuition. And I wrap up with this quote from Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody knows who he is, the inventor of Bitcoin. And he said this not long after the WikiLeaks scandal really started to take root in the political structures of the world. And he said, WikiLeaks has kicked the hornet's nest and the swarm is headed towards us. So you see, WikiLeaks took power back to the people. Now, crypto assets is doing the same thing. And the hornet's nest of regulators and those that don't want to lose control are coming after us. And so we really need to understand just how powerful a transformation this is in the financial system, and how big a deal it's going to be as more and more and more people start to find out about crypto assets. So that's where my talk ends. I'm going to take some questions. Please drop your questions in the Q&A. Yeah, join us on globalcrypto.tv Join me on Twitter, James Preston ZA. I talk about a million other things besides crypto. I talk about technology, tech, philosophy. I even talk about football. If there are any football fans, then just know that Lionel Messi is going to Fulham Football Club. I want you to know that. And globalcrypto.tv is our website. We'd love for you to follow us and check us out there. And I think
that's it.
My video off. Yeah, let's take some Q&A.
Thank you so much, James. First of all, you actually kept to time. I didn't even have to bother you about time. So thank you so much. So let's take some questions for James. After the questions answer session from James, we are going to have a giveaway based on everything James talked about. So I need everyone to please pay attention to everything James is saying now. James, are there any questions you want to take? We have 5 minutes for questions. There are quite a few in the Q&A chat, so let's get started on that.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just go through what I can. So please share the slide, ask the class, what do you think about the DeFi? Please share the slide. Okay, so Eshizona, if you are referring to the actual presentation, I'm going to share that on our website. So it'll be on the website this evening, globalcrypto.tv, that whole presentation. And then Eshizona, you ask about DeFi and DEX in the crypto ecosystem. DeFi and DEX is pure decentralization. So DeFi stands for decentralized finance, DEX stands for a decentralized exchange. We've seen Binance, a centralized exchange, realize the power of decentralization, and they are building their own decentralized exchange. DeFi is really just the power of finance and financial products being released to the people. So things like loans at the moment are extremely big in the DeFi space, where you put up collateral for a loan. You say, look, I've got 1 Bitcoin. Can I get the US dollar value of that Bitcoin? I'll put the Bitcoin up in collateral. You give me US dollars, and then you can go and spend that US dollars. You can speculate, start a business, whatever. And if you don't pay it back, automatically a smart contract, decentralized, powered by the Ethereum blockchain in most cases, if you don't pay it back by a certain date, then guess what? Your Bitcoin is lost to the system. So they don't lose. The system doesn't lose. You ran away with some US dollars and they kept your Bitcoin. So decentralized finance means we don't need banks anymore. We literally can go to a smart contract, an automated system, which is entirely decentralized, and say, this is what I want. The parameters have been set up. I want to take out this amount of money. I want to take a loan for this amount. Here's my collateral, couple of buttons, a couple of clicks, and you'll be released the token, the digital token, into a specific wallet. It's really powerful. Decentralized exchanges, I think, are really important because, of course, we've seen centralized exchanges can be prone to attacks. They are honeypots for attackers and malicious actors. And so decentralized exchanges remove that. Also, some people don't like know your customer, KYC, AML protocols, which have become increasingly difficult to abide by, which, you know, is important. And I understand that those that believe we need them, but a decentralized exchange removes all of that and just says, hey, I just want to trade with somebody. And it really, again, gives the power back to the people. So I hope I helped there, Ishizona. Let's have a look here. Steve01, can you kindly share about taxation when it comes to crypto? It all comes down to country, unfortunately. South Africa at the moment is a capital gains tax. So if you realize profits, you need to declare that to the South African Revenue Service, and the value that you invested versus the value you took out will be taxed according to the profit that you made. It all depends on the jurisdiction that you're in. That's, I know, the South African regulation. Dr. Isidore. Hello, Dr. Isidore. What parameter are we going to look out for to be able to know which crypto to invest in long term? Great question, that one, Dr. Isidore. So I would say in digital markets, what is known as the Lindy effect is a powerful effect and rule to understand, which is something that comes first, establishes itself, and then stands the test of time, is usually the best bet. So if I were going to choose one crypto asset right now out of over 2,000, just one, I would choose Bitcoin. Now, does that mean I don't think Ethereum is going to do great things? No. Does that mean I don't think Litecoin could do great things? Binance Coin, Link, Neo. There are other great projects, and I believe that we need numerous blockchain protocols. But if I had to bet just one, which I'm not going to because that's silly, but if I had to, I would bet Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was the first and it's proven itself to be the most lasting. So I hope that helps. A couple of others for me, again, the ones
James,
that are
sorry, James,
yeah.
Can we take 2 more questions and then wrap up?
Correct, no problem. So a couple of other coins, would be in the top 20, most in the top 20 right now. Look out for those. And then follow the numerous media outlets and do your own research. It's all about reading. What are investment parameters? Well, let me do this one quickly, dummy. This one doesn't count. Investment parameters are rules. It's just rules. And they'll be spoken to you over the next couple of days. Right, here we go. Let's see. Okay, Kim Korkmaz. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Hi, James. Do you suggest only investing or investing in trading together? It all depends, Kim, on your constitution, to be honest, and if you can handle the emotional turmoil of trading. Because the moment you get into a trade, and there's an idiom which gets used a lot, which is money makes funny, right? The moment, and this is why people go crazy about Ripple. Ripple's my coin, man. Or people go crazy about Ethereum. Ethereum's my coin, because we are psychologically attached to that which we invest in. The moment you make an investment, you're psychologically in, you're emotionally involved. And you really need to be careful of that. And so if you can handle it emotionally, you can remain level-headed, then trading's fine. It does take time. You've got to watch it carefully. And you really need to invest in education and understanding that. I personally, look, I'll make the odd trade here and there, but for me, it's really just about growing my long-term investment portfolio. If I've got a bit of Bitcoin, a bit of Ether, a couple of the others, then I'm happy and I just let it grow slowly. Investing is just a lot easier. I know long-term, I sincerely believe Bitcoin will be $100,000 in the next couple of years. This is not financial advice. Do your own research. I hope that helps.
Thank you, James.
No problem.
You can take one more question. Take one more question, please.
Thanks, Dami. Thank you so much, Angel Bermudez. What a lovely name, Bermudez. Does every crypto descent? Oh man, it's so hard to choose one more. Oh, should we go with Bernice? Hi, I read the good concern and a great reset. How do we go beyond that note? Okay, here we go. I'm going to go with this one. John Coyote asks, is Ethereum really going to make waves like Bitcoin later in the future? Yes. Bottom line, very simple answer, yes. Ethereum has some of the smartest people in the world working on it. I've interviewed one of the founders of Ethereum, Joe Lubin. You speak to a man like that, you recognize that these are mathematicians, these are software engineers who are giving their lives to build a protocol which has never been seen before. And Ethereum is, it's called a virtual machine. It's not necessarily about just a simple token transferring value. It's about smart contracts. It's about automated programming. It's about decentralizing programming. So it's not held on a centralized server. There are so many aspects that make Ethereum such a powerful protocol and such a powerful blockchain ecosystem. So I think it will make waves. Its token, Ether, is extremely volatile. So be very careful. Don't just think, well, because it's going to do so well, its token Ether is going to do great. Its token Ether is all over the place. Be careful. But if you're willing to hold on for 5 years, I think you're going to see some great positive returns. So yeah, that's it from me. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
Thank you, James. Again, James is the executive editor of Global Crypto. Global Crypto is one of our media partners for this event. Our other media partners are BitcoinKE, thank you for the support, and Lightblocks News. We'll be sharing their links in the chat functions on Zoom. I just want to go through some quick housekeeping rules. So I've seen a lot of questions. Thank you to everyone. We have over 1,000 attendees during this event and loads more on our live stream. So the first thing is we've gone through the first intro to crypto. Today, we're going to do a giveaway next. There are going to be 2 giveaways today. The first giveaway, we're going to give $10 to 5 people who answer the questions correctly. Very soon, my colleague Brenton will be facilitating that giveaway. Brenton is our business development manager for South Africa. Hello to the South Africans in the house. After that giveaway, I'm going to do a quick introduction to one of our speakers for day 3, who will be talking to us about the technical analysis and aspects of crypto trading. But before we go into that, let me just run through what's going to happen on day 2. As I said, if you want to attend day 2 and day 3, my colleagues have been sharing in the chat function a link for you to fill a form to express your interest. Or if you have not filled a form, that form, you probably won't be able to get into day 2 and 3. So Emmanuel, please, could you share that form again? Thank you very much. It's in the chat function here on Zoom. So day 2 is going to be facilitated by my lovely colleagues in the Binance team. We're going to talk you through how to set up your account, buying and selling, withdrawing and making deposits for NGN, Kenyan shillings, and South African Rand. We're also going to be giving you a live demonstration of a P2P trade. That's kind of what's going to happen on day 2. We're also going to cover crypto scams, because I know a lot of people are concerned about that, how to avoid them, what to watch out for. The golden rule typically is if it's too good to be true, it usually is too good to be true. And then day 3, we're going to go into the proper technical analysis. So let me just do a quick introduction to Tola. Tola is the founder of Crypto Masterclass. Hi, Tola. You can put on your video now and your sound just to say hi to the guys so that they get to see you. Tola, as I said, is the founder of Crypto Masterclass, a crypto education platform that focuses on awareness, education, tips, and benefits. Hi, Tola. Thank you for joining us today.
Good evening.
Good evening. So just kind of give an overview of what people can expect from your class on day 3.
All right, on day 3, we shall be looking at market psychology, technical analysis. I basically would explain 2 indicators that has been working for me over the years when it comes to trading of cryptocurrencies. For those on our free group on Telegram, we discussed something last night regarding VET, and if you're on that trade, you could see that the market is moving already. I actually used an indicator called the Fibonacci retracement, which I could explain as well tomorrow. So aside that, on Sunday. So aside that, you understand market psychology, what to do when the market is in a kind of situation, what not to do, okay? So other things that you just can't wait to get involved on Sunday.
Awesome. Thank you, Tola. Thank you for your time. So Tola will be running the session on day 3, as we said. So we're going to go straight into the giveaway. Tola, you can put off your camera now and turn off your screen. Is Tola, I think Tola is a bit stuck. So Brenton, let's start with the giveaway. As I said, we are giving $10 to 6 people. My mistake, I said 5. $10 to 6 people who answer the questions correctly. Brenton is going to be choosing those people for us. And then after that, we go straight into session number 2 with Roselyne Wanjiru. Thank you, guys. So Brenton, have you shared the...
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Roselyne. Just 1 second. We're going through the form right now. So if you put off your video for now. Brenton, we're working on the giveaway. So let's do the giveaway quickly.
Right. Yeah, sure.
Hi, Dami. Yes, we're just waiting for 6 winning responses. So if you guys missed it, I'm just going to share that form in the chat again.
And again, if you want to join the event on day 2 and 3, please fill in the interest form that has been shared in the chat function. Really, really important. Brenton, so should we give them maybe 2 more minutes, and then are you going to tell us the winners live?
Yeah, perfect. So I think just give the guys a few more minutes. I know a lot of you guys are asking which ID on the chat. It's your Binance user ID. So when you log into your account and you click on the little icon that looks like a person in the top right, you'll see just under your email address, there'll be 8 digits. So that is what the
I think we need to look.
that's what the user ID is. Yeah.
You need to unlock the form, I guess.
Is the form
No,
locked?
no, it's accepting responses. I tested it, but I'm not getting. Oh yeah, I've got a second, third. Yeah, it looks like they're coming through.
Maybe share the screen so we see the questions as well.
So my screen sharing is just disabled.
Let me enable that for you. I probably need to make you a co-host. There you go. I'm so sorry, Brenton. Okay, please go ahead and share your screen. Let me know if you can do that now.
Yes, guys. Hi. So I can see a lot of you are saying you need permission. I've just unlocked it. I see it's only been unlocked for certain people. I'm so sorry about that. You should all have access to it now.
Thanks, Brenton.
Let's go ahead and share my screen. So can you guys see it?
Great, more responses coming in. So for those of you that are on YouTube and other live streaming platforms, unfortunately, the giveaway is only for those that are on Zoom. Next time, please sign up for this event on time. Those of you on Zoom, thank you so much for joining us today. It's great to have so many of you so passionate about cryptocurrencies in Africa. Again, as I said, if you're interested in attending day 2 and 3, where we're going to cover buying and selling of crypto in Nigeria, Kenya, South Africa, we're also going to cover P2P, we're going to cover scams, we're going to cover a lot more. And on day 3, we're going to cover technical analysis, market psychology, crypto trading with Tola. Please fill in the interest form, which my colleagues have been sharing across our social media and also across the Zoom. Let's take one more minute and then we pick answers.
Yeah, great. So I've already got the first 3 lucky winners. I see you guys are handing them in very hard and fast. In the next 1 minute, we should have our 6 lucky winners to announce live.
If you can't access the form, please refresh. I think it's already been shared. See a few more comments. Thank you to our angels, ambassadors for answering all the questions. Really appreciate you all. And again, I just want to say thank you to our media partners, Global Crypto, Lightblocks News, and BitcoinKE for the support. Thank you for our speakers, James Preston, Executive Editor of Global Crypto. Thank you to Tola of Crypto Masterclass, who'll be speaking on day 3. We'll soon be going into the second speaking slot with Roselyne Wanjiru, who's the CMO at Kesho Labs. So we'll just give 30 more seconds and then share the winners.
Oh, perfect. So we're ready to share those lucky winners, guys. So
Great.
I know you might not catch it. So our first winner's UID is 483-78503. Our second winner is 381-78749. Our third winner is 401-66472. Next is 401-66472. Next is 421-31182. And lastly is 230-21786. But we'll share those in the chat shortly because I know you guys might not have caught it. So congratulations. And if you've been unlucky, there is a new quiz coming up straight after Roselyne.
Exactly. After Roselyne's session, we'll be giving away some more money to 6 other people. So there's still a chance to win. Okay, so Roselyne, thank you all. I want everyone to please welcome Roselyne using the chat function. Roselyne Wanjiru is this Chief Marketing Officer at Kesho Labs. She's an economist, a youth mentor, a blockchain strategy consultant. She's a keynote speaker, thought leader. She's an all-round badass in general, passionate about leading initiatives towards adopting and appreciating blockchain technology. And today she's going to be speaking to us about crypto around the globe, how crypto is being used around the globe. Thank you, Roselyne. You've got 35 minutes. And then after that, we will take some questions again, the same way we did for James.
All right. Thank you so much for the introduction tonight. It's such a privilege to be able to interact with everyone and, seeing 1,000 people already, tuned in from all over the world. It's really exciting to see that there's, a clear passion and a clear curiosity toward guys being able to learn about opportunities in crypto. So, just a bit of introduction about my work for those wondering, okay, how is she doing all that? I was actually really inspired by the beginnings of Binance in 2017, and I was doing some research around what's the future of blockchain, what's the future of crypto, and asking myself just as a young person all these questions about the price of Bitcoin hitting around $17,000. I was like, how is that even possible? Is this going to last? I was really curious, and I got researching. I wanted to do a master's in data science as an economist, and I thought, okay, this is the way forward. At least, I can understand where this thing is going in terms of the future, but I didn't buy Bitcoin then. So, I got asking the questions and I got to learn about blockchain technology. And from the first few meetups that were held in Nairobi by Blockchain Association of Kenya, by BitcoinKE, I got to learn a lot about the opportunities in the space. And by connecting with people who are already, having businesses like, there was the African Crypto Network, there's the Melanin Solar already as a project. They were doing an energy use case for blockchain. I was like, wow, okay, this is already picking up, and I'm feeling left behind. So I got learning and I got my work started at the time, and initially got a volunteer role in, with the EOS Nairobi community, and I just got growing from there. And my journey to becoming CMO was through the company Kesho Labs then, which has rebranded now to Pesabase, and I'm currently serving as the Director of Growth and User Acquisitions. So this for me is a journey as an economist, and there are many people who are wondering in the crypto space, should I become a trader? Should I learn finance? Should I sign up for a degree? Should I sign up for a diploma? And I'm like, no, you don't have to go through all, probably an institutionalized learning to learn about crypto. Platforms like these ones that we're having over the next 3 days are really going to be essential to break down the fundamental concepts, and you're going to need to give yourself time to learn as an individual and with different groups that are safe, especially for giving you the right info, the right context, and you can have accountability in terms of asking the right questions, because I wouldn't advise anybody to put their money before they understand what crypto is all about. So yeah, crypto around the world is today's class, and I would want everybody to be able to just understand, what opportunities are there for you as a beginner, for you as a newbie, for you as a young person who has probably heard about crypto, or maybe you heard about it from a negative experience and you had someone was scammed. So you're wondering, what do I do to not be scammed? So I hope that our class today is really going to be instrumental to you. And so feel free, let's engage. So I'm going to get to the presentation, and I hope you can see my screen clearly. So crypto around the world, what were the beginnings? One of the first definitions is that I'm going to cover a definition, the importance of crypto, and a few early facts about cryptocurrencies in their use around the world. So by definition, you're going to have a cryptocurrency as a digital token, which is used for borderless payments and partially as a storage of value. There are many people who argue about the underlying value of cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, and they're asking, what's the true value of this thing? Is it going to collapse? Is it going to hit the floor? Is it going to disappear? Because it sounds like this thing is not permanent. And many people are wondering, what's the end of these cryptocurrencies? Yes, they may boom. Yes, they may hit the roof through some of these margins that you see through exchanges, but what is the truth about how long the going to be valuable for? And those are some of the questions. But in a nutshell, a digital token, this is a cryptocurrency, is basically a digital token, which is used for borderless payments, really. And it's that in an instant you can have your transaction sorted out. Now, the fact is that not all cryptocurrencies fit these descriptions. Not all cryptocurrencies are going to replace digital money. We have different conversations around digital and national currencies. We have conversations around central bank digital currencies, which are also referred to as CBDCs, which could be a potential and a longer term replacement or alternative to cryptocurrencies. But the truth is that people just want transparent token through which they can track value, and that's the fact. And if you can remember the days of barter trade, or well, not really remember them, but at least understand the concept of value through barter trade, it's that peers were trading and you didn't really go to a central authority to determine value. It's that the community agreed. And three things that were really essential to you being able to transact value were your reputation, your quality, and the availability of the product at the time. So that's those are three things that are really coming into the crypto space. If you have no reputation, then you can't really trade. And whether you trade on one cryptocurrency platform or another, you want to exchange funds or you want to transfer that, if you have no credible reputation, then you are kind of voted out of the system, right? And if you do not have credible relationships, you don't have availability of tokens and funds, then you're locked out of the system, and that's a fact. So the thing is that you want your digital assets to be easily available, easily convertible, and you want to have the reputation that will get you trading as consistently as possible, right? So I'll mention that as we go along. Now, what's the importance of cryptocurrencies? And a lot of people are wondering this, but the first is that it enables individual financial sovereignty through peer-to-peer or decentralized tools of transferring value. Now, this just means that you are in control of your funds. Why is that so important? Financial institutions, as we've seen in previous financial crises, can crash. And once they crash, it's a domino effect. And once this domino effect hits, then we as the citizens are the ones who suffer the most because we can't access our funds. And what does that mean for you? You can't, you can't take care of your family. That's bad enough. You can't take care of your friends because if they are affected, then who do they come to? They're going to ask you, can you come through for me? And you can't do that. So we have to see this hit as personally as it gets because it affects us, right? And it's not just about, centralized institutions being able to come back from the hits, but we as the citizens, what can we do? And with cryptocurrencies, we actually have a way to control our funds. And that's really important. The other thing is that we get to bypass high cross-border currency exchange and transaction fees. Now, when you just step from one country to another, one of the things that you're thinking about is how can I convert cash as easily as possible? And you realize if you travel a lot, then that's quite a headache unless you know many platforms for you to be able to exchange from one currency to another or one account to another. You don't want to set up from scratch, wait 4 days for approval, KYC, and then being able to send your funds, then still wait for more days. That's taking a lot of time, but with crypto, we're getting to almost instant transfers for our funds. The other thing is that with crypto is that it's limiting definitely limiting transaction times and costs and limited or no censorship. I mean, if you have control of your funds, nobody can stop you from transacting. And that's why, KYC has been debated heavily within crypto platforms and, things like that, because why are you submitting your identity? Why are you being required to verify your transaction or your name and things like that? It's that we need to be able to know that you're not financing terrorism or things like that, and yes, it's advantageous for you who are doing something that's on the right track, but for the one who is a nefarious actor, what checks and balances are there to actually make sure that they don't use these platforms for nefarious purposes, right? Because well, I would say this as a bypassing statement, but if you really want to be a criminal, don't be in the digital world because you will be traced. I mean, forensics are getting better and better by the day. So that's the thing. Again, with cryptocurrencies, they are arguably the future of money, and billions who lack verifiable identity can participate in the global digital economy. Why? Because you can download crypto wallets, or really for many cryptocurrencies, without necessarily providing like your ID, email address, and so many other things about your physical address, your age, your next of kin, and things like that. Typically information that you would need to open a account, right? So that's the thing. You need to be able to understand this is why cryptocurrencies are so important. And even if you do not own cryptocurrencies at the end of this session, that's okay. Please start by learning. I will emphasize that very heavily, because if you get into cryptocurrencies thinking that this is my boom, this is my next break into wealth, and this is my next break into, you know, mooning and buying my Lambo, please slow down, okay? Just start by learning. All right, so that's the importance of cryptocurrencies. And if I go too fast, please just, you know, raise your hand and mention it in the chat section. So the next thing, why and how have cryptocurrencies been used? Right to the beginning, someone happily bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. That would seem very outrageous right now. But the thing is that at the time, Bitcoins did not have as high a value as they do right now. But you can imagine whoever bought those Bitcoins for, you know, they bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins. I'm sure they, you know, they really wonder, why did I just, you know, how can I ever get those Bitcoins back? You know, but well, that's neither here nor there. But the thing is that this person bought 2 pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoins, okay? But after that, the use of Bitcoins and other cryptocurrencies has really evolved, okay? So firstly, we had let me start with the worst case scenario as we go to better use case scenarios. So with nefarious and anonymous, or as I would say, you know, the bad rep that was associated with cryptocurrencies. If you mentioned that you were interested in Bitcoin, let's say 5-7 years ago, someone really mentioned that you were likely questionable because it was associated heavily with terrorism, and you know, it was really heavily associated with the darknet. And to date, there are people who still believe that Bitcoin is for the criminals. And I would like to demystify that and really just separate that today by highlighting, first of all, that yes, there are people who have used cryptocurrencies for nefarious purposes, but that doesn't make Bitcoin itself the crime or the criminal or the illegal thing, okay? So these 3 cases that I've highlighted are some of the worst, you know, some of the worst criminal activities that have been associated with Bitcoin. And the reason why I am highlighting them clearly is just for people to understand. Don't lump in the 2 as bad. Don't lump Bitcoin as bad because it's being used by the bad guys. It's, you know, bad guys will use cash. Bad guys will use anything they can. So it's not Bitcoin that's the problem. In fact, I think there are more transactions that have been done through crime or by criminals in cash than crypto will ever see. So that's for another day. So the Silk Road network, 26,000 Bitcoins were confiscated because, and I mean, the founder of the network was charged for life. I mean, on different counts, okay? So there was also the largest child exploitation network that was busted because the key is in de-anonymization. So with crypto, a lot of people say that, you know, you're fully anonymous, you can't be traced. Guess what? As tools get better and as forensics improve and as tools keep evolving, de-anonymization is real. If you are in crime, in crypto, you can't hide there forever. You will be busted, you know? So yeah, that's a fact. Again, $4 billion of money laundering was done through BTC-E, and that was, you know, if you're interested in the research, but this is just for mention. I must separate that the Bitcoin network and cryptocurrencies are not they aren't the crime. They are not the illegal means. It's that you have nefarious actors everywhere else in the world. They will use cash, they will use other means and whatever. I will not belabor that. It's just for you to understand that cryptocurrencies are not wrong to use, they're not illegal to use, and you just need to be able to understand the difference. So moving away from that, what's the thing with tax? How does tax come in? Now, most people who are trying to understand the place of regulation in cryptocurrencies are trying to see, okay, there are these digital assets slash means of payments. How do we rope them in to the existing economy? Because the fact is that governments have moved from a stance of banning the use of cryptocurrencies, or putting or issuing cautionary notes, to actually integrating or accepting, or just in one way or another balancing in cryptocurrencies, right? So it's that in some countries you do not have to pay any capital gains tax on Bitcoin, because again, it's very volatile. I mean, ask anybody who's trading, they will tell you that any cryptocurrency is highly volatile, and that's a fact, really. So that's been one of the hardest things about regulating cryptocurrencies, right? And not to mention that they're decentralized. That's already a whole other debate. But just in a nutshell, it's that in some jurisdictions, you don't have to pay capital gains tax on Bitcoin. In most jurisdictions, really. And that's because it's attributed as a payment method. So how do you tax a payment method, right? But it's being used as a store of value. So someone will buy Bitcoin worth, they could buy like 50 Bitcoins or 100 Bitcoins and so on and so forth. And if they make a capital gains tax on that, then in that sense, they could be liable to tax, right? In another jurisdiction, it's that you could pay your liable taxes through Bitcoin, i.e., you convert your cash, whatever you're liable to pay in tax via Bitcoin, and send that to another Bitcoin wallet address. So these are some of the ways in which governments in the world, around the world, are trying to kind of just rope in different crypto interactions and payments and things like that. So that's just for perspective, for people to be able to see that not all governments in the world have completely banned it. Yes, I'll highlight later on countries that are have either banned or kind of approved cryptocurrencies, but this is just for perspective. In Australia, in the EU, Germany, and the US, it's a bit more progressive than most countries. Now, I have this very huge figure on the screen. It's over 100,000%. Now, this is, just one of the massive, crazy figures that traders have seen over the last 10 years in terms of cryptocurrency gains. And when I highlight this figure, it's that this is just to highlight the trader's haven. And by the trader's haven, I mean that someone has been able to see, oh, this cryptocurrency was launched, came in at 0.00 something of a dollar and shot to $3. And so, you're seeing 100,000% of a gain and way higher. And some of the cryptocurrencies that have managed to do that are Verge, Einsteinium, and Redcoin. I don't know what was your most notable gain or loss, but I hope you've been able to see that rise, or something like that. So I'll ask, what was your most notable gain or loss in a cryptocurrency? So with that, you have alternative investment, extra income, and high risk. But crypto is really an alternative to real estate, stocks, and bonds, forex, and other conventional forms of investment that return an average of 10% per annum. So the famous call is not to put all your eggs in one basket. So again, don't look at crypto and say, oh, I'm going all in. Just do your research. Please do your research, all right? So the income opportunities in crypto through trading, hodling, and education and training, as it is, these are the very early years. I'll just, mention that there are work opportunities as well. I just have a few like 10 minutes to go, so I'll just go through this. You can be a community manager, you can be an educator, you can do media communications, you can do incentive structures as an economist, business models, you can do management, operations, finance, you can do software, you can do graphic design, and way more. If you give yourself the time and the diligence to learn, you can find your work opportunities in the crypto world. So don't just think trading only. There are so many amazing opportunities, right? And safety first, you must appreciate that there is risk in crypto. It's not about all gains, okay? So as I, just putting in this picture, it's not just about heaven and all gains. You must be ready for the losses, okay? So wallet safety, this you must do. Keep your seed phrases. Keep your keys offline. Use a hardware wallet. Use a secure connection. Have your strong passwords for offline wallets and 2 or 3FA. Separate trading and storage wallets. Back up your wallet and back up it up, because if you forget, you lose your funds permanently. Okay, and then do not share your private keys. Do not access suspicious links. Don't believe doubling scams, because recently on Twitter, several high-profile accounts were hacked, and they were saying, "Oh, I'm giving back to the community. I'm gonna double your Bitcoin," and these guys really swooped in a lot of money that way. So don't fall for such scams, and don't send without verifying the receiver. Don't forget your crypto wallet info. Just save it offline on a paper wallet. So just save multiple copies. I know, protect your crypto wealth like you would, because it's, if you lose it, you lose it permanently. So in working with or around regulations, I've just highlighted the countries that are both for and against. On the left, it's that Malta, Estonia, Hong Kong, US, Canada, these are some of the countries leading the charge with regulation. You can look at what they've done and kind of just understand some of the key aspects around regulation. And the countries that are sort of banned or, a bit on the gray about crypto, then you have Bolivia, Zambia, China, but kind of warming up, so it's a work in progress, right? So I bring this in closing by saying that in the case against Oldbridge, it's that Bitcoins are not in and of themselves illegal, but they do have known and legitimate uses. So the fact is that you do not have to be afraid in dealing or afraid about dealing with cryptocurrencies, okay? Do not be afraid. Be open to learn. That is what I will emphasize. You can't use it if you do not know what it's for. So start by learning. That's the first and most important thing I will heavily emphasize. And with that, I will happily take the questions.
Thank you. Thank you, Roselyne. That was really awesome and very insightful. There are loads and loads of questions. So we've got 5 minutes for questions. I think you have to pick about 5 of them as you see fit.
Okay. Let me just get to the chat section.
It's in the Q&A section, yes.
Yeah. All right. So, wow, these are a lot. So let me just start. Yes. All right. Okay, here about wallet safety. In Nigeria, there's some people that send a virus to your wallet address in form of crypto, and this virus either steals your funds or sends a fake alert. Okay, that's not a question. Which country in Africa has the most developed in crypto assets? Well, okay, this is a bit vague, but I would say that in terms of Africa, you have Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya, really leading the charge in terms of, crypto adoption, whether you want to talk about volumes, transactions, and communities that are vibrant. So those are the leading countries. Here we go, in Uganda. All right, this is anonymous, but the question is, it's surprising that the fiat to crypto exchange fees are expensive. Okay, that's true. A case in point, this person uses PayPal. Transaction fees are very low, yet Binance uses a third-party payment gateway fees, which are 3 times more expensive. Well, I would say that on the African market, in terms of liquidity and on-ramp from one crypto to another and one currency to another, you're dealing with actually 2 key challenges: the crypto rate and the exchange rate from one like local currency to the US dollar. So, the crypto platform in and of itself doesn't necessarily have control over the exchange rates. And that's, I think, one of the things that could improve over time as you have more direct, like token to local currency pairs. So like Binance to the Naira, or Binance to the Rand, Binance to the Kenya shilling. So that's something that will definitely come with time. But I would say right now it's definitely a work in progress. You just have to be kind of keen around your workarounds, because if you deal with not necessarily just Forex alone, you have to just be careful about the conversion rates and conversion times. Acorn City in Senegal, what I think about it, it's really going to be one of the projects that will open up use cases on a wide scale for so many people, because I believe crypto has to be as simple as possible to anybody in Africa. I mean, no one needs to go to a class. No one needs to, kind of fly out or go way away from their comfort zones to understand what crypto is. Because if we understood barter trade and we were able to exchange value, I believe it needs to be simple for grandma in the village, that she can have her phone, doesn't need to download too many apps, and she can just be able to participate in the digital economy. So for us who are pioneers, I would throw this challenge to everybody who's listening today. Can you just make this crypto world as simple as possible, without the jargon, without the technical terms, and enable your grandma or your peer to be able to share this and say, okay, we can make money through this. Simple. Buy at this point, sell at this point. That's it. Download this wallet, exchange this, exchange that, you have your money. We just need to be able to make it that simple. So translation. I believe that's the next frontier in terms of adoption, because if we don't understand it in the simplest way possible, we cannot share it to our communities. And that's really where such cities as Akon's vision would be able to really just rope in the masses, right? So we may not need like too many of them, just that could be a model city for other cities to be able to kind of learn from and adopt, and it could go viral in ways that we would never have imagined. Yeah, so I am on Twitter, I'm on Facebook. I mean, let's keep the conversation going, because I love your questions, guys. It's, as I said, it's I can see it's getting harder to pick them as we go along.
Thank you.
How much more time we have? Maybe one or two more questions.
I think that's all we can. We can take just one more question, and then we'll wrap it up.
Do I have time for one more or two more?
You can take one more.
All right. Okay, there was one more question here. Can a crypto transaction be reversed if you mistakenly send some coins to a wrong address? Can it be reversed? For now, unfortunately not. Many cryptocurrencies do not allow for that functionality, but probably in the next year or two, it's going to be possible to reverse. But then again, that, it just makes it a bit complicated, which is why in the, as much as you can before sending, try as much as you can to verify that info, okay? Our software wallets are safe as well. If I rank wallets in terms of safety from the safest to the least safe, the most safe really is offline. So that's why I said for a paper wallet, because a paper wallet is just basically you being able to write down your seed phrase on an actual book. I would advise a book, don't write a piece of paper, because if you do write on a piece of paper that you misplace, then you forget that wallet. So you'd rather have a dedicated book to have your your crypto wallets and passwords and IDs and things like that. Then the next is the hardware wallet, like Ledger Nano and such wallets. So that, because they're kind of like a USB, and the more your assets are offline, the more safer they are. Then, having software wallets that is more on mobile/PC, the PC wallets tend to be safer than mobile wallets. So that's just by ranking them in terms of safety. So the thing is that keep your wallets as safe as possible and more offline than online, all right? My social media handles have been shared, I believe. Yeah, so.
Awesome. Great. Thank you, Roselyne, again for your time today. This has been really, really informative. Can everyone hear me? I think we're good. I think Roselyne, we've lost Roselyne. Anyway,
the future of crypto in Africa. I think a very
Roselyne?
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry. We have to wrap up. We have to go to the next part of the
event. Sure. That's okay.
Thank you, guys. Right. Thank you so much, Roselyne, for your time today. Roselyne has shared her social media handles in the chat function. You can get to know more about her on social. You can ask her more questions there. Please reach out. Sorry about the network fluctuations. I'm not quite sure what's happening. But Brenton, please come back. Let's do another giveaway based on Roselyne's presentation.
Hi guys, so I hope you were really paying attention when Roselyne was speaking. We've also thrown in a bit of general knowledge this time because we had over 500 submissions for the first quiz. So we know you guys really, really want to win something. So just like tomorrow and the next day, we'll also have giveaways. And we just want to get our next giveaway started. But before I do, I know a lot of you are having an issue with your user IDs. So I'm going to share my screen quickly. And while I do this, please feel free to start answering the questions. Like I said, if you come to the little person icon here, you'll see that right next to your email is a user ID over here. And that is the 8 digits that we are looking for. So go ahead and just copy and paste that into the top of your form. So guys, let's go through the questions while you're busy answering. So the user ID is the first thing. We just showed you how to share. What is the main thing that you should do as soon as you set up a Binance wallet or account? Great. Well, we saw a whole bunch that Roselyne shared with us, but we know that the first thing we need to do is make sure that we activate all of those security measures. So your two-factor authentication, your SMS authentication, etc.
Sorry,
Great.
Brenton, have you shared?
Yeah.
I think some people are asking for the link again to the second question, to the second form.
Okay, great, guys. So there's so much chat coming through. I think people just miss it sometimes. So 1 second.
Yes.
Let me just share that in the chat. Guys, so it's coming through again now. And it's been pushed up. What I'll do is I'll share it one more time as well.
Yes, please pay attention, guys, to the chat function. Okay, I'll try and keep sharing it as people keep talking.
Okay,
all right,
brilliant,
Brett,
guys.
go ahead.
Okay, let's go through quickly. Let's go through the second question.
Let's not give the answers yet.
Yeah, so we've got the second question. So we've seen that Verge, etc., has done really, really well, like Roselyne showed us. But did you know how much Bitcoin has gone up since it was launched, or since 2010, actually, according to Bloomberg? So Bitcoin's actually gone up over 9 million% in the last 10 years. So that is the answer for question number 2. If you're answering now, you won't be in the first 6. So it's not like I'm giving you the answers. And finally, if you make a profit when you're trading on Binance, for example, how do you get the money into your account so that you can actually spend it on things? So you could sell your crypto for fiat on the exchange, or you could put up an ad and sell it on P2P. So either of the above would have been accepted. Oh, wow, look at this. Okay, great. So like you guys saw, our correct answers were answer number 1, answer number 2, and answer number 3. So you could have guessed that if you were just being random. So is user number, lucky user number 1? Oh, brilliant. So our first winner is user 3621019. Congratulations. And second, yes, he's correct as well. So that's 477-37394. Congratulations. Our third winner, he's correct as well. 230-21786. Our fourth lucky winner is correct as well. 483-78238. Our fifth winner would be correct as well. Congratulations. 380-82862. Lucky I'm still young and my vision is good. And our final winner, who is also correct, well done, guys, is 477-86713. So well done, guys.
We need to make sure they don't have like repetitive winners. So people that won the first time can't win.
Yeah, correct. So guys, remember, if you won the first competition, you'll be removed from winning this time. And if you won this time, unfortunately, you're not going to be eligible for the competitions on day 2 and day 3. So congratulations to our winners, and I'll share those UIDs in the chat if you didn't manage to catch it.
Thank you, Brenton, thank you so much. So I think we've actually come to the end of today's class. Again, if you are interested in attending day 2 and 3, can you please fill in the form that has been shared? Can my colleagues please share that form again one more time? If you want to attend day 2 and 3, you have to fill in that form. Day 2, like I said, is going to be run by my Binance colleagues. We're going to be covering how to set up your account on Binance.com, how to deposit, how to withdraw, how to buy and sell, how to deposit and withdraw Nigerian Naira, Kenyan shillings, and South African Rand. We're going to have a live demonstration of P2P, peer-to-peer, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. We're going to give an overview about what peer-to-peer is. I know a lot of people keep hearing P2P, and don't really know what that's about. I'm going to cover that tomorrow. And we're going to cover how to avoid crypto scams tomorrow. So my colleagues Brenton, Emmanuel, and Frank will be covering that session tomorrow. And that will be the same time, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, 6 p.m. South African time, 7 p.m. Kenya, Uganda, and East African time. And lastly, please join us again on Sunday for Tola of Crypto Masterclass. He's going to be doing a really, really intense, immersive session on learning how to trade crypto, market psychology, technical analysis, all the complicated things. He's going to be simplifying it and showing us how to do that. So thank you guys. I see some people want to see my face again. I'm sorry. I realized that my video wasn't on. It's on now. Thank you all for joining us again. And remember that if you attend day 1, 2, and 3, you get the certificate of participation at the end. I think that's pretty much it. Thank you all for joining. Hope to see you again tomorrow at 5 p.m. Nigeria time, 6 p.m. South African time, 7 p.m. West African time. Thank you to our speakers, Roselyne, Wanjiru, and James Preston. Thank you to our media partners. Have a good evening, everyone.